Hello guys, welcome back. In today's tutorial, we are going to go over how you guys go about creating a custom model in place using your Revolve tool. So to get started, you guys first want to decide which view you guys want to be in. Some of the common views is going to be your plan view or your elevation view. So depending on what you guys are creating, you guys can choose which view you would like to be in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stay in my level 1 plan view. And to get going, I'm going to go ahead and go up to my architecture tab. I want to go over to my component and I want to click on the flyout. From here, I want to click on model in place. Once I click on model in place, it will take me to my family category and parameters. So from here, you guys are able to choose what category of model that you guys are creating. So there's quite a few options for you guys to choose from. I'm going to go ahead and just select generic model just for purpose of example and go ahead and press OK. Once I hit OK, I will be able to rename that model. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine at generic 1. But you guys can choose to name that whatever it is that you guys are creating. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Once I hit OK, you guys are going to notice that my menu at the top has changed. We also have our green check mark and our red X, which means that we have to select one of these to completely come out of these tools. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my forms portion and I want to select my revolve. Once I select my Revolve tool, my menu will change one more time. I will also see that red X and green check mark, which again means that I have to select one of these to come out of the Revolve tool itself. Before I get going in my model space, I want to come over to my properties and I want to take a look at some of the options that I have. So the first thing is you want to see, well, how far do you guys want to revolve that option around. So right now we're going 360, which means that it's going to revolve 360 around the axis line that we create. You guys can also choose to have this go 90, 180. It just depends on what you guys are trying to create. So I'm going to go ahead and keep mine at 360. Again, that means that it's going to revolve around that axis line a full 360, depending on the shape that I create. I can also choose to have that angle start at another start other than 0. So I can do, let's just say for purpose of example, 90 to 360. You guys also have that option to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine at 0 so that you guys can see that full revolve. The next option is you guys do want to make sure that you have visible selected in graphics, and you guys want to go down to solid void, and you want to make sure that you have solid in this option here. Now once you guys have checked your properties, you want to go up to your draw area, and I just want to point out a few things before we get started. So our boundary line here is what we will use to create the shape itself. Okay, so whatever you guys are trying to revolve around, it will be that element itself. We also have our axis line, which is what we are having that revolve around. Okay, so it'll probably make a little bit more sense when we get to the model space, but just know that you guys have those two options. So for me personally, I like to start with the axis line itself just so that I know what my starting point is. So I'm going to go ahead and click once on axis line. It will give me two options. I can choose to pick a axis line if I already have something drawn within my model space, or if I do not, I can just do the custom draw line itself. So I just want to make sure that I have that one selected. Once I have it selected, I'm going to come to my model space and I'm just going to draw my axis line. So I'm going to click once to set that down, and I'm just going to move in the direction that I want that axis to be. So you guys can choose to go vertical, you guys can choose to go horizontal. It just, again, depends on what you guys are trying to create. I'm going to go ahead and keep mine's vertical. And another thing to note is it doesn't really matter how long you guys create this axis line, it's going to act the same way. So whether I have this axis line be 8 feet or I drag it all the way down to 80 feet, it doesn't matter, because again, it's not going to be something that's visible. It's just more so a reference line. So I'm just going to click that second time to set it down. Again, I don't really care what the length of it is, because it won't be visible. So I'm going to go ahead and press escape to just come out of that axis, and then I'm going to go up to my draw area again, and I'm going to select boundary line, and I'm going to select how I want to draw what's revolving around this axis. So I'm just going to get my line tool and just create kind of a, I don't know, a cool shape here. So if I come down here, one other thing to note is you want to make sure that you have a closed loop. So depending on what you guys are creating, no matter what it is, it cannot be singular lines just by themselves. So it has to be something that's closed, a full closed shape in order for this tool to work. So I just want to start to just kind of draw, and I normally just kind of use my axis line as kind of a reference point to start to draw off of. Okay, so I'm just gonna click once to start to draw something. Again, it doesn't, depending on what you guys are trying to create, you guys would just draw what you guys want that shape to be. So I'm just gonna do something like this, and I'm going to click my axis line, and this is where you want to make sure that a lot of people just click out of it at this point, because it looks like you have your shape connected to your axis, but you actually want to go ahead and close that shape up, and that's what I mean by a closed loop. It has to be a full shape. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape one time. All right, once I'm happy with that shape, again, I have my axis line, which will not be visible, and I have my boundary lines, which will be visible. And again, this full shape will wrap 360 around the axis line that I have created. All right, so once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit this green check mark to come out of the Revolve tool. And again, you guys can kind of start to see that preview here. And I want to go ahead and hit that green check mark one more time to completely come out of the Model in Place editor itself. Okay, so once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and go to a 3D view. And again, I'm just clicking the 3D view at the top, but you guys also have the option to click on your 3D view from your project browser by clicking on that plus sign if it's not maximized, and then just double clicking on 3D, and that will bring you guys to this view. And so now if we kind of move around, we can kind of see how that shape has developed. So again, we don't see the axis, but we see the shape that we've created, and we see how it has revolved around that axis 360. So that is how you guys go about using your Model in Place Revolve tool. Again, the sky is the limit when you get into your Model in Place tools. It just depends on what you guys are trying to create. You just kind of have to think through that process of where does your axis go, how do you want your shape to revolve around it, making sure that you guys have a closed loop. And it should work out great for you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you guys found this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe below, and please feel free to leave me a comment on video recommendations that you guys would like to see. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you.